Hello and welcome back to the GG.Bet New York Invitational. We've had a change of face here on the desk. Instead of Hugo, it is Vendetta. We've unlocked you, as Hugo said. We had you locked up in the corner.
Yeah, in a cage. It wasn't very comfortable. You gave me water. That was nice.
At least it was water.
Yeah, but I made it out. It was a rough 2 hours, but
Yeah,
got through it in the end. Now we sent Hugo elsewhere. We actually just abandoned him.
We don't even give him the luxury of a prison cell.
No, we just evicted him to the outdoors. Now he's on his own. And he doesn't have data in Ukraine. So
Exactly. So if you want to kill Hugo, this would be the perfect time to do it.
Yeah. Or just, like mess around with him. But,
yeah. Whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Obviously, I caught the first 2 games. Big, obviously, not having the greatest of luck. And the same thing can be said for Hellraisers as well. So we're left with AVANGAR and forZe. I would say that's to be expected, considering what we've seen out of the 4 teams so far. And going into this one, I would lead the way of forZe. I mean, they've continuously impressed us throughout every invitational we've seen them at so far. In the meantime, they managed to qualify for the major without really breaking a sweat. They seem to be one of the hottest teams just in the world right now. Yeah,
and the way they just wrecked Hellraisers as well, that's got to be a good sign moving forward. Just Hellraisers, just dispatch with them easily.
Yeah, no, it's like, I guess we have to play the match just to, be able to get to the group stage finals. That's kind of how it feels for forZe right now. And if I'm not mistaken, they've gone through both the previous invitationals, winning out their group without dropping a map.
Yeah, they've always made it to the very late stages in a very convincing fashion, right? And they only start to have problems when they play against some of the best teams in the invitationals. And we've seen last time when they don't have Liquid facing them, they beat everyone. So.
I mean, even versus Liquid, you say they run into issues when they play better teams. That point, they run into internet issues, not actually Team Liquid issues either.
We didn't specify what kind of issues, but they do have some issues. And even when they win, there's more issues coming in with visa problems and stuff. So
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, obviously, forZe are a team that have had not that many opportunities in the past of getting to big events, but finally when they do, some problems stop them from getting there. So I think they've just got to consistently keep this up and keep proving they deserve the spots at these big events.
But I would have imagined, obviously, with Chicago going the way it did, for them not being able to get their visas in time, that they still would have followed through on the application. So now, that's going to be sorted. If they end up winning this, qualifying for New York, we should see them in New York, which is great, because I feel like forZe has just been waiting for a bigger scene to really make their mark, which is why, if you think about head to the major, right, they're definitely one of my dark horses for it. Obviously not winning, but being, having an ENCE-like story in the sense of upsetting teams, making it way farther than most people would have pegged them for.
They seem like a better version of back in the day Vegas Squadron when they had a couple of upset wins.
Absolutely, I think that's a good one. Ooh, Jerry gets a little bit of luck on his side as well to start things off.
Well, Inferno is a map that both these teams have played today. Both of them have won on Inferno. I think forZe obviously looked much more convincing, had a much more convincing win, should I say. But here they go, just straight aggression in towards the A bomb site. The kill's coming through. It's the advantage there for forZe as the bomb plant comes in. And well, Amazer, great headshot, looking for the follow-up as well. And there it is. forZe win the pistol. Absolutely brutal stuff here from AVANGAR. AVANGAR just can't really do too much about it.
Yeah, it was really solid. And you can see how quickly they react off of the information they get as well. Jerry, even if it's a 1-for-1 trade, the fact that he notices it's 3 because he gets a kill, there's a trade, and there was a flash for the guys pushing out, immediate movement over towards the A-bomb site. Dropping out of BAPS, easy kill on the guy in quad. That's a little bit more of a fortune thing. Obviously, he could be looking in 2 different directions to see the odds for GG.Bet. Favoring forZe, and that's what I would have expected at this point. They've always been the underdog in most of the invitationals. It feels like they're finally getting the respect that they deserve in this one.
And taking a look at the overall team list for this event, it's not as stacked as some of the previous ones. So this, in theory, could be another one where forZe might just take that win.
Yeah.
Because they're certainly one of the favorites, if not the favorite to win this.
I would go as far as saying as they are the favorite.
Yeah, I pitched them as the favorite, but Hugo didn't let me. So.
Now, Hugo said yesterday that he was shocked at me for actually picking forZe to win over AVANGAR. But yeah, no, I feel good about what we've seen out of forZe so far. That's a great job from Sanji, though, to pick up 2. With the 1 SMG they had picked up as well. So he nets himself a fair bit of cash as well. Buying some time here for the time being. Grant's gonna find a second one. 2's that C-Power and Jerry out of the business. Well, out of commission for the time being. And Kicker's gonna get the quick follow-up as well. So they even deny a bomb plant. And I guess this is one of the issues that we've seen out of forZe every now and again. They have their issues dealing with force buys.
I mean, and normal force buys as well. So
yeah. And I'll say, I guess it's becoming more and more of a prevalent thing than it was, which is pretty crazy to say, considering the fact that you had the money changes, basically making round 2 force buys that much stronger.
Yeah.
But AVANGAR going to be super happy about that situation. Aggression again in Banana is getting nothing but first blood.
Flexing a little bit here at the start on the CT side. It will be 1 kill from Kicker picked up, but forZe still some potency here with the AK-47s. Fist Crack alongside Jerry wielding those. They've got the pistols float on flip with the scout for Z-Power.
It's not a bad buy at all, actually. Get some tag damage from Z-Power, and 2 AKs then themselves can do a ton of damage. Buster's alone over towards B as well. AVANGAR made a big rotation over towards A for no reason, and now, well, they're making a massive over-rotation as well. There's no commitment from forZe's side, so having 3 people initially just run over is a little bit wild. So yeah, bit of a hefty rotation for just some movement in Banana, but they stay alive for it. And one of the big issues for forZe right now is that they have no utility left.
Yeah.
They might just have to wait it out, honestly, until everything fades and then just go off of contact, hope that somebody from AVANGAR has rotated off. You could see, I think it's Kicker, who's a little bit unsure whether or not he wants to hang out towards archways or actually stick to Banana.
Well, picking up above it will be the kill coming in towards Fist Crack. And there they go, Jim with a follow-up. Jerry will eventually step in as Buster will take away Jerry. Leaving Z-Power on his own, 1v4. The AK-47 he has in his hand, Z-Power will start to run away. Attempts to throw it out of the map, but eventually will.
Yeah, I like that move, actually. Because that's the kind of situation where it doesn't benefit him all that much from saving the AK. I mean, you might think it's nice. Obviously, you get a weapon to play with. But none of these guys are simple. As good as they are, they don't really have that high-level likelihood to being able to turn around on its head with a single weapon. And obviously, it puts a massive dent and just a hold on your entire economy. So you're going to be the one straggling when the rest of them buy up.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So I think it's perfectly fine doing that and also preventing one of the AKs actually to go into the hands of AVANGAR.
So just normal pistols to work with here for forZe. They'll try and charge their way in towards the apartments.
Okay then, James.
They've got that control as Adren will throw the ball to top of this Jerry with a pickup. And there'll be 1 kill coming in from Adren, but still more kills coming through on these pistols. Good damage done already from the T side. Sanji looking to try and hold on. He's done so far. Lighting him up, and there it is. Quad kill comes in. Good hold from Sanji. When the rest of his teammates are falling down around him, he steps up and at least is there as the rock for AVANGAR.
That was a big one. Absolutely. I'm really curious to see how Jerry managed to get the better of James. Curious if it was just random shots through a smoke with the P250. Because he went down to... I couldn't even hear an op shot. So I kind of imagine that, yeah, something went horribly wrong in that sense. Well, nonetheless, as you said, Sanji being the anchor on the site closes things out.
The thing I'm looking forward to seeing in this matchup is the battle between Z-Power and Jim, because Z-Power is on a good level at the minute. Jim was top fragging for AVANGAR earlier. It would be cool to see these two oppers go head-to-head, just because both of them, they do like to get the ops, but forZe want to get the op on the T side as well. So we're going to see a back and forth across this entire match. So.
Yeah. It's only like something that disappoints me when you have 2 great operas going up against each other is the fact that you rarely get to actually see them go head-to-head, as you said. Well, that's a great flash, but not actually going to catch Face Crack. Face Crack did an amazing job here finding people, even predicting Adren's angle off of the cross flashes and everything. Oh, what? All right, that's the only way to put a stop to Face Crack in this round was doing that.
That's just ridiculous.
And even with that kind of a shot, AVANGAR still finding themselves in a 1v3 Buster. He doesn't really stand a chance of actually retaking this. He kind of realizes that himself. The problem is, look at Jerry. All the way over in CT spawn, and he's going to make sure Buster gets nowhere with that saved op. Oh, okay, yeah. Got there in the end. A little bit labored. That was some crazy shots. Face Crack first being able to dodge the initial flash. That was well done in itself. Getting the second follow-up was really quick onto Kicker. And then predicting Adren's position over an arch. Just everything picture perfect. And Face Crack is probably like the one member in forZe that we don't see as often kind of get to really hot starts and do all that much in terms of fragging, but obviously he's got impact as well.
That's the crazy thing about it as well, because earlier he was the player at the top of the scoreboard finding a lot of the kills, so crazy stuff coming in. And this time it's Jerry to open things up onto kicker. Man advantage is not long lived though, as Busted with a great headshot on towards Flip with the ult, and it's into a 4v4 immediately here. As the rotation coming in, it's two players coming back in towards the B bomb site. It's Drent alongside Sanji, who have arrived at the B side of things. And well, that is exactly the right call, because forZe want to go in towards this side of the map. And something that gave them a lot of success against Hellraisers earlier was the fact that they could be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Just really keeping Hellraisers guessing so the rotations could not be so, not correct every single time. You know, there wasn't a great read available.
That is like a really important factor as well. This time though, Sanji's been able to find the right read to get one. Jerry's quick to respond, and Z-Power finally getting into the action with the op. Just going to take out Buster at the back of the site. Bomb plant should be going down, and Jane, you might want to look the other way. Not really standing too much to gain here from sticking around. He's going to be punished for it as well. So the first duel we see between the two operators, Z-Power's going to get the better of him.
Well, there's the shots. Some Israel take that one, and it's 3-3, round 7. Coming right up, and well, again, it's a bit of a stalemate, but this one should be a forZe round win in the bag, and this was that earlier kill that netted forZe the advantage. And while Jerry continues to do so, it feels like the most exciting thing we always talk about on forZe is the fact that it's not just one player. It's not a one-man. It's not a one-man army. You can kind of see highlights across the board from everyone. Yeah,
we've literally had everyone on forZe throughout these Invitational step up big at some point, whether it's Flip, Almazer, Jerry, and as I said, even FaceCrack. FaceCrack maybe not as often as the others, but definitely someone who's able to put his mark on the game. It's going to be good for one, but again, the trades favor forZe. And keep in mind, this is the map pick of AVANGAR, which makes it all the more, I guess, terrifying, the fact that forZe have gotten off to such a hot start. I mean, they had a good T side as well in their first match.
Yeah, they did indeed. forZe, obviously, going up against probably a more difficult opponent, I would say, just for the fact that Hellraisers have been together for longer, you'd expect them to play better. But they definitely are a team that is not going to be easy to take down, and the AVANGAR certainly made it look easy at times.
Yeah, especially because Hellraisers, I think the last time we had them at the Invitational, obviously there's a lot of back and forth between what lineups they would be playing with and changes, all this kind of stuff. They've actually been settled for a while with what lineup they want to go forward with. Yeah. So you'd expect them to see some improvement. The first time we saw them, it was pretty disappointing. A lot of lackluster performances, and I guess now we just have to point that more to the fact that forZe have just been that good, because they've ran into each other a fair few times already in these matches.
The thing that scares me the most is Inferno was AVANGAR's pick. Yeah, they won on it earlier, but it's not exactly
a great start.
No. And it's not a map that forZe are uncomfortable on either. You know, if you give a map where forZe could realistically find a win on it and then allow them to pick a map that they want to play on, that is a big problem. Usually not a recipe for success. Doesn't even matter if it's, you know, another team than forZe are going up against. It does feel a little bit dicey, and Mirage being allowed through as well. Again, we know forZe are excellent on that map. It could become a really rough best of 3 for AVANGAR. But again, it's also a matter of forZe actually having wide enough of a map pool to showcase that they're actually damn solid on all of these maps. And also, you know, sometimes you just run into teams that either playstyle-wise fit you better, or just the fact that they have similar map pools. It happens. So it's not ideal. It becomes a really tough task for AVANGAR to deal with a team like forZe in that scenario. So, a bit of a pause in. I'm assuming this is a technical one. Just going off of the length. So far, though, nobody dropped from the server, so hopefully it's just a minor issue dealing with maybe some TeamSpeak issues. It's a common one. Yeah, it always is. It seems to be TeamSpeak issues. But generally, the TeamSpeak issues is just one of those terms that is used to describe bathroom breaks and... Exactly, right? Because how many years have you been using TeamSpeak while playing now? A fair few, right? Yeah, a fair few. How many issues have you actually had with... Probably, I don't think I can remember any. to be honest.
Exactly, right?
Maybe just a server crashing once or twice, but that's about it.
Exactly, and somehow these teams keep running. And we're not saying that this is specific for AVANGAR or forZe. This literally accounts for any pro team ever that's
even
playing
at big
an online
events.
game. Yeah. Somehow they managed to mess it up, and I'm not sure how. It's rather remarkable.
I mean, that's the thing about CS players is, yeah, they, for so much time playing on a computer, they don't really know so much about computers.
Oh yeah, absolutely clueless when it comes to figuring out how to set up a computer, build a computer, troubleshoot anything.
Yeah, because you think those people that stand behind them at events, the admins, oh, they're geniuses, they fix everything.
No.
Probably just your average PC user.
Yeah, no, probably. They'd still be better off than most of the pros, I'd imagine. But that's not setting the bar very high. Because I feel more often than not, players tend to make that. They tend to find, hassles where they're not meant to be hassles.
Yeah.
Create issues for themselves, and maybe they thought they saw like a makeshift, solution on YouTube, but now it just messes up everything.
Yeah.
It somehow affects your teammate on the opposite side, and like to the fifth computer, because they're all networked somehow. I don't know. They managed to do the most astounding things.
There's a lot of those guides on YouTube. Get better FPS and all this and CS. You
actually just burns your GPU or something.
Yeah, it just destroys your PC. So
be on the lookout for that. Don't mess up your PC.
I think the thing that gets you more FPS in CS is just having a good PC.
That's fair.
No other way around it, really.
You know what's also better? Just not. You don't necessarily get better FPS from it, but it does kind of soothe the mind. Is turning off netgraph or show FPS.
Yeah, because you're not constantly fixated on how many FPS you're getting. Yeah.
Unless it's like a really significant issues where you're literally dropping from 300 to 50 frames, every time you start shooting.
Have like a toggle or something. You can turn it on just to check if it's working or not. Yeah. Turn it off again.
Because I'm the kind of person, I still have netgraph on because I don't learn. I just give out, advice to other people and don't follow it myself. I constantly have netgraph up, and when I see the variance on a server go off the charts, I can't play anymore.
Yeah, because you're too fixated on the fact, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Like I swing into a position and I sense like the tiny bit of lag, and I'm like, oh, everything's done. Like game over. Might as well disconnect, and it just sticks to my brain.
It's really annoying though. That has to be one of the worst types of lag though, is when your variance is too high. Oh, the SV, like too much of that, and it just makes it impossible to play. I can play with like less FPS, but if I'm playing with,
I could play with like consistently higher ping instead of having variance, right? Like it's the jumps that kill you because you can find no consistency in anything you're doing. Like if you're trying to shoulder peak, and all of a sudden you lag, so you step further out than you normally would have. You can't account for that. Yeah. If you just have high ping, then you're playing with a bit of an excess delay than everyone else. And that's something you can kind of work around. But yeah, not ideal either. We're back in the action. We're seeing a bit of a mishmash buy coming in from AVANGAR here. I'm not like a super big fan of this, I'll have to admit.
No, but these are the type of buys we've sadly seen win a lot today. So hopefully, if you're a purist in CS, you don't really want to see these wins happen that often, to be honest. You want to see the guns win.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you got to credit for the teams making them work as well. Jerry's getting real tagged up, but all right, still able to be good for a kill. There we go. I was about to say, AVANGAR started off their first string of rounds off of a force buy, right? And might just have it again. Great job from James there to find two. That's a lot of money as well. Obviously, you want your opper to be in a pretty good standing after all of these buys.
Yeah, but that kind of just screws their economy for the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, I was about to say, does this somehow prompt James to buy up if Adren manages to save? Because obviously that's a terrible scenario to be in as well if you're AVANGAR. But I think for Adren, obviously you're going to get your money regardless of what happens as a CT, so you're better off saving. But hopefully this doesn't inspire AVANGAR to go for another force buy. They should know that the economy on the side of force is well off enough to the point where they're going to rebuy regardless of what happens. From the looks of it. Nobody from the side of force too eager to actually go hunting. That's actually a thing we saw during the minors as well. Not just in the CIS minor, but just across the entirety of it. Not super aggressive in actually going for well, hunting down players who are saving ops or saving rifles, that kind of thing. They were more focused on themselves, which I guess you can also, give credit to, like having faith in yourself that, you know, if we're going up 5 versus 5, everybody has guns, we're going to win out. That's a nice mentality and a nice way to think about it. But we definitely saw people get burnt by it, especially in the South American or the Americas minors, where they let K&G save an op, and all of a sudden the next round he's there with 3 kills and you lose the game.
We actually, funny enough, earlier in the best of one, we just seen forZe do that as well. So Jim just running towards Banana, getting the kill on towards Jerry.
Yep, so they did buy up behind it.
Yeah, I think it's if you have an open like Jim, it's certainly an option to go for. You know, you have that in your locker, and what the hell? Jim right through the half wall, the kill comes in, and well, you can't really do anything about that if you're forwards, if you're just getting shot through Molotovs and smokes, and then through a half wall.
Yeah. The one thing you can do is what they're doing exactly now, being quick about it to move up on the opposite bomb site before Jim gets anywhere near the site. So far, so good, and Dren's going to go down to Flit, so that's one of the 2 rifles they had going into it being removed. But problem for them, bomb is dropped in pit, and James still continuing to do work. Okay, Flit. Saw James somehow, did not expect the 2 players in the bottom of mid. Z-Power. Is he going to hear the steps? He is, but not going to be able to connect the shots. Great job from Kicker. And that's a second force buy for AVANGAR to pull through. James doing work. And as you said, yeah, if you have an opera of his caliber, you might as well at times.
Well, I feel like at this point, AVANGAR need to find Inferno to have a say in the series. We have seen them play Mirage, but we've seen them lose it quite a bit. So...
so that's actually,
that was through a smoke as well.
Why not?
Okay. There's literally nothing you can do about that.
Exactly, because, again...
Is he going to do it again?
This time they actually nailed the Molotov, because they didn't in the first round. James got out of it with 100 HP. They know it's a 3-man setup now.
Why would you try it again, though? That's just way too brazen. To go for it again is just... You know, okay, it works once. You kind of just accept that you got away with it.
Fool me once.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, if James feeling it, if he can get a quick pick and then bail out. Again, you saw that they messed the Molotov. Maybe he thinks that's just the standard Molotov they want to throw out because they're more worried about somebody peeking from half wall than behind car. Which seems like a bit of a stretch, but I'm trying to find answers here.
I feel like if you kind of spice it up a little bit. You peek from car, then you peek from half wall.
Oh, how is that a miss?
I don't know. That looked like it was on him, perfectly on him, but Z-Part unable to get the kill, it seems, and FaceCrack will take a headshot back. It's into a 2v2.
The weird thing here, though, is that bomb's still down in Banana.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem. Although, they're probably just trying to wait it out a little bit, try and get some information, because they do have the option to go either bomb side at this point. So if they leave the bomb in between both players, they can get the info if they want to barrel back in towards the A bomb site, but it seems like they want to commit in towards B, as Almazer's got some presence up here.
Yeah, FaceCrack picked up another smoke as well up in Arch, so he's going to be able to smoke out spawn. Sanji seemingly aware that, yeah, it's not going to be any action here towards the A bomb site. He's going to have a quick rotate. Question is whether Kika goes for bomb denial or not. He's not going to have the chance, is he?
Well, he needed that kill, but the nade comes in, low HP, and nearly does damage on the both. Enough to drop nearly Almazer, but it's not enough. As Sanji comes back into the site, they're both low. He can pull this off. No kit, so he has to move quickly.
Oh, the smoke's going to give away his position.
Yeah, smoke gives away his position indeed, but he's moving on in. Doesn't even check the corner of Almazer, and that is the kill. That's the pickup, and forZe will find 6.
There we go. So short-lived joy for AVANGAR there. Winning the force by getting immediately returned on. Now we're back to pistols. Oh my! That's one way of doing it. Had to readjust. But
all right then.
What a way to make up for it.
Yeah. Well, this one, well, it's easy as they come. It seems from forZe 7-4. It will be on the board. As they start to move forward, this is looking like a very good T side, and the thing these two teams had in common was most of the rounds were won on the T side, so the currency now becomes CT round wins. Which team can find themselves more CT wins than the other?
Well. This is going to be an uncontested round for forZe. Just need to get the bomb plant down on Jerry, moving up banana. Sanji and Buster don't really stand too much of a chance of getting anything done here. Right now, when you're forZe, you're sitting at 7 rounds early on in the first half. T-side Inferno. Life's pretty good. As you said, this felt like what had to be the must-win for AVANGAR in the series as well. Going into Mirage, again, not that they're slouches, it's just forZe have been such a hot team as of late that you would have expected them to, or you would expect them to pick up at least their own map pick.
Well, fizzcrack sits back on the stairs. It will begin to pick up. And there it is. All 5 players stay alive from forZe, and all 5 drop on the AVANGAR side of things. So forZe with a great chance of building up this T-sided lead, although AVANGAR coming into this one with a bye might just be there to stop them from doing so. There's that nade attempt from Sanji.
So close.
It was so close to pick it up. Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles, though. And we move into this one. It is round number 12. forZe, again, with Z-Power peeking in towards middle. He loves to do that on both sides of things. This time, GM playing a little bit more passive. Off towards the short position. Still down the barrel, though. Big gap to play with the smoke. Jerry's going to move right through. Kicker has no IDs here, but the spray comes in. Buster spots him. And well, Jerry, I like the idea, but it doesn't quite work out. And there's the kill from Sanji. James still alive inside of the site. This is looking impossible to lose at this point if you're a AVANGAR. But forZe want to try and do the impossible. Well, James, great angle. Kill comes in from Flit on towards the head of Jim, but Adren is there to step right in, but doesn't spot fizzcrack, who stands at the top of the box in the default position.
They know about
Sanji's wrapping in the pit, but he still gets the kill. They knew he was there, but it's all on Z-Power. 1v3 clutch needs to happen. He's inside of the site. The time is ticking, and the AWP scoped him on the pit position. He's not even caring about the rest of the players. He wants to fully commit towards this pit position when the unscope comes in, and Buster will peek him. There'll be a round on the board for AVANGAR. But it got a little bit scary and a little bit dicey towards the end of that one.
It did. Definitely didn't expect Flit to beat out James into the angle, and pretty much the setup James had for himself in that one. That's expensive for them as well. Bomb does get transferred on though, but CT side economy is not that great. GG.Bet odds here coming in, still heavily favoring forZe at this stage. Can't really blame them for that either. Sitting at 7 rounds on the T side first half on AVANGAR's map pick. And even though forZe are in, I guess, a little bit of an iffy situation money-wise, being on the T side, they can probably force up for the rest of the half without too much of an issue.
Well, Jim, he's going to be sitting here with the AWP ready for the rest of the players to start to come in towards the position, but it's Sanji, the main player here, stepping up. Adren peeks in from below as well. And forZe, well, they're not really expecting this change and an adaptation from the CT side. They haven't really been able to reply to that just yet. And that's something that both teams haven't really had to play against, is the CT side that's been able to adapt, change things up, and throw something into the works.
Yeah.
It's been very still, very plain sailing on the CT sides, and AVANGAR, when they change it up, certainly looking much better here. But Z-Power into a 1v1 after that pickup from Kicker comes through.
Buster's so far away. This might be down to the fact that we saw in the previous round, right? Where they split up in a 2v2, just being on such opposite sides. Oh, how is Z-Power expecting that?
What?
That is wild.
That is just ridiculous. So there's a tiny gap in the smoke, and instead of going for the safe idea of planting the bomb, he just walks right up and takes the no-scope.
Why not?
Just Z-Power things, I guess. And it is hit to 5 forZe. After an early shut-on towards short from AVANGAR, they still managed to pull it right back.
They do. Cool, I guess, evolution to see from forZe as well, that we've seen more and more of their players actually pick up that SG. They were very much a team that just went, I guess, the cookie cutter way of having AKs and an AWP on Z-Power. And to be fair, that was working out pretty damn well for them, so you can't really argue with the results. But No, Jerry, Flit, all those guys having picked it up when it's a possibility. We're doing pretty solid service for them as well.
Well, Jerry goes aggressive and he will find himself kicker. That's the man advantage on the T side.
Really big considering us forced into that angle as well. Not going to find the follow-up. Buster's there. Just have to deal with the D.
Oh, he has backup as well with a shotgun here on James.
So much utility just being thrown down here. Oh, look at that. It's actually going to be forced to get the better off of it. Face crack with a nade onto Buster's face. Drentir has his backup. Might be a bit of a bait. I don't think they know James playing up by close wall.
What?
Now they do. And
4x3.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think James playing 4x3.
Yeah, that's always horrible. And when we Sanji on his own 1v3, and he's picked up as well. forZe will find 9. We move into the last round of the first half, and well, it could be another 10-5 scoreline coming in from the T side.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying watching forZe play, though. Again, it's just a team that's been so consistently good over a long time. And again, it's not at the same level, so don't go too crazy with this. But they kind of remind me of Energy. And the way that it's a steady progress, same lineup, just slowly making their way up. And you're also finding, like, as you do that, as they get better as a team, you kind of get a showcasing of what kind of talents they possess. So obviously with Energy, you had forZe, you had Ethan, and so on. And eventually, and Zerk, obviously, here with Energy, you have the likes of Almazer, Jerry Z Power, and so on. Now, though, Almazer having a bit of a rough one. Decides to back off. So the utility, again, is working out nicely for AVANGAR. This was something they did really well versus Big, but...
Yeah, the utility forces them back, and then they just run over the top of the logs and take the kills. There's not much you can do there. It's just very well played from forZe, a good reaction.
Yeah, I was about to say, the fact that they actually dropped down their own Molotov in the back, literally to section off AVANGAR, so there's no rotation back into the bomb site. That's very well done. Very heads up. So if AVANGAR are deciding to play somewhat aggressively towards Banana, they're stuck in it, and there's no real help from any of their teammates, even if there is a rotation. And speaking of, this is a gamble stack and a half from AVANGAR. Jerry's gonna make it out just at the right moment as well. So stack did not pan out for AVANGAR. Initially having 3 players over towards B. Allows for an open A bomb site. Bomb's going to go down. And Jerry's already posted up to deal with anyone rotating in. Ooh, actually gets caught out, but yeah, it's going to be perfectly fine for the time being. Might even hear the players running down Banana as well.
So at this point, forZe would be well warranted in trying to eliminate every player quickly. Get themselves up to 10-5, and well, there's 2 from Sanji. FaceCrack able to pick up 1 back, and well, we'll leave Jim on his own 1 versus 2. FaceCrack will drop him as well. So 10-5, forZe walk away with double figures on their T side. Exactly what they did earlier, and well, they closed that game pretty damn quickly. So we'll see if that is the same going into this second half. And again, if you're just tuning in, with the graphic in the top right, it is AVANGAR's map pick here on Inferno. Up next will be Mirage, and if forZe can continue this and pick up Inferno coming into the first matchup, it might just be a quick 2-0.
Yeah, it is looking like a bit of a danger. The updated odds from GG.Bet. Again, heavily favoring forZe. I guess forcing the odds lower and lower down. Discrepancy becoming bigger and bigger. They're just playing super solid Counter-Strike at the moment, which is really fun to see. Especially because a lot of the times with the up-and-coming Tier 3 teams that try to make it into, I guess, Tier 2 and above, it's oftentimes gimmicky. It's not necessarily off the back of super solid Counter-Strike. That's not been the case for forZe. Oh, Jen, though, does a damn good job to find 3.
He's been quiet as well today for AVANGAR. He's had his signs of life, but it feels like he only steps up in like 1 round, the rest he just goes quiet again. So if they can somehow find a way to get Adrent firing again, that could certainly be a factor that would get AVANGAR back into this. They have a good chance at winning the pistol. They've got the man advantage. They've got the time to play with.
Such
the problem
a sneaky play.
Jerry's trying to come in from behind, but the timing's just not really going to work for him. They're already on the bomb site.
I don't think they're going to expect him to actually rotate all the way around them through mid. So they're going to be expecting an apps or a boiler play.
Flick coming back in from library as well. Jerry coming in through mid. Sanji's got the angle up, and the kill will come through. It's all onto Flit. 1v3.
No
Not
kit.
going to happen. Surely it does not happen here. With no kit, that makes things so much more difficult.
Having to make his way through the smoke as well. Time's not favoring him. Yeah, this is running out. It seems like he's realized that as well. Might just set up to get some extra kills as the T's make their way out of the bomb site. Not to be.
10-6. So AVANGAR find the pistol. Important start. You know, they had a pretty good T side themselves.
Yep.
We'll see if they can replicate what forZe did.
What, losing the following? Is that what you want to see?
Maybe just replicate forZe's chance at how many T-rounds they won and then do better by one. So this would be the round that they need to win.
Yeah, we'll see. forZe doing the same kind of thing that we saw actually out of AVANGAR a whole lot when they started to come to prominence, which is having one of the players actually just drop off a scout for their sniper, which is Z-Power, so he doesn't have to expend all of his money. That still puts him in a position to get an op in the first buy round for forZe. It's like small min-maxing of your economy goes a long way, especially when you not necessarily rely. I wouldn't say that's the case for forZe necessarily, but when you benefit so much from having an opper in your team. Even with the scout, Z-Power can do a ton of damage here. I think it was actually during the minor. He had an absolutely insane scout round where he just ran into mid, peeked, got a headshot on one of the pit players, ran directly into CPL, peeked down second mid, finds another one, just swings back and forth, finding, you know, kill after kill after kill. Right now, he's going to be tested eventually. Only 2 players over towards the A bomb site, hanging out in Arch. Z-Power already making noise with the scout, so they're going to know where he is, and they kind of just circumvent him entirely, dropping out of apps. Bomb's going to get down as well. Should be pretty done and dusted. I like this move from forZe as well, actually. Holding onto the weaponry, they know they can have another go at it. This time they didn't get any sort of tag damage for Z-Power to work with initially. Oh, you need to bail out here.
Yeah.
To survive.
Fist crack, he's kind of just hoping Jane wanted to hunt that, but
yeah,
he didn't go after it.
Kind of, yeah, I like that decision from AVANGAR as well. You know that they're holding on to something, but is it really worth potentially throwing away 2 or 3 AKs to do so? If anything, you send out Sanji and Adren, who's rocking SMGs, and that's pretty much the only justifiable thing to do. But yeah. Pretty much everyone on the server stays alive, just flit to go down. So forZe get another go of it, and AVANGAR, they get a pretty clean round out of it as well. So their economy is going to get a little bit of a boost. That means that Jame, once we get into the first, I guess, real buy round, does have the option to pick up an op. And you wouldn't be surprised if he drops off his AK, one of the SMGs goes by the wayside, and he buys an op for himself. But then again, it is T-side. But I guess when if you get desperate enough, maybe you toss it out there right from the start.
2 MAC-10s still available, so nearly only 1 MAC-10 available as Z-Power goes aggressive again towards middle.
This is what he did during the minors.
He loves that exact angle. Like, he loves to just run straight down middle and force his way in towards second mid, but Buster close towards the half wall, knows that Jerry's there, at least spotted him, starts to spam away, but Jerry still wins that fight. Trade comes in, 4v4.
5-7, man. It's coming back into business, starting to become the flavor of the month. The aggressive move here from FaceCrack. This is set up to use quite often, and still gonna get the tag and also the frag. Nice adjustment from FaceCrack there to be able to get the connection, and man advantage lies with forZe now.
Under a minute left to play while the smoke goes off towards the CT cross. And this kicker is the front man in this attack for AVANGAR. He wants to try and find this opening pick. He might just do so, but giving away his position with the spam. These are close by. He's going to be checked, and the kill comes in. So AVANGAR, they do find that one. Flip barrels through the smoke, only for 1. And it is a 2 for 2 now. 36 seconds to play with.
And bombs all the way back in T-apps here, or T-spawn.
Yeah, both CTs on the B-bomb side as well.
We'll see, though, how quick AVANGAR are about fetching that bomb and where they actually decide to go. Again, running into the B-bomb site could be really dicey considering the time required. Might be their only option at this stage, though. We'll see. Gonna decide to go up mid. So if actually Z-Power can get a tag here, well, Adren is actually, the one with the bomb is within kill range here of a scout. Oh, actually tags James. Not the right target, though, but good damage being done. Oh. Tries to go for gold. It's going to be punished. 2v1, but still definite chance here for FaceCrack. He doesn't have a defuse kit, but he has an AK and armor versus 2 heavily tagged players.
He's not wasting any time. He's just running straight there, straight through library. Doesn't care if they hear him.
8 bullets.
He wants to fight. 8 bullets is the problem, but he only needs 2 technically. We'll see if he can rattle them off, and well, he's wasted quite a few there, and he will be spotted by Jim. That's just kind of, well, I have no time and want to try for it, so I'm just going to sprint in and hope something happens.
I feel like you don't lose that much time off of just reloading with the weapon up for the 2 seconds it takes, and then going off on your merry way again. So you could tell that he was very aware of the fact that he had 8 bullets, right?
Yeah, because he didn't spray.
No, he just went for tapping. And in that scenario, yeah, if you can land the taps, that's great, but probably would have been able to get a gen there with a couple of stray bullets if he sprayed. Obviously, would have been a completely different issue to deal with Jame and Pit, but either way, forZe, they do get their first Byron, and then they've done significant damage to AVANGAR, at least in that last round. Z-Power in familiar position.
Molotov goes up towards Boiler. Z-Power with the scope in towards the stairs, and this might just be the kill on the Sanji that he's looking for. Dren actually catches his teammate, but Jerry elsewhere able to give that advantage to forZe.
Did Adren just spam it through the wall without even knowing? Oh, okay, then.
That was a team kill as well from Kicker.
It's really unfortunate.
Some crazy stuff happening, but still, it's a Vanguard coming out worse for wear at this point. Adren, yes, he got a wall bang, but the second coming in as well. He'll need more than that. It has to be the ace clutch, and well, Adren has been rather quiet, and he will get spammed through. So 11-8, forZe looking to try and take Inferno. A few more to go, but they're certainly on the right path.
Is it bad that I expected Z-Power to actually make that drag shot?
Yeah,
I've just become so accustomed to it.
Been conditioned to just believe he can do everything, right?
Yeah. Because unfortunately for him, they're not going to have an op in this one. Much to there's the happiness of the AVANGAR squad. They have an op on Jame. It's not the greatest buy in the world. They have 2 AKs, 2 Deagles, and an op, but they've been able to win some scrappy buys here so far. They definitely need it as well. Some more a bit more of a passive setup on the side of forZe. Not playing forward in either Banana or Apps. This might actually be much to the benefit of AVANGAR as well, considering they want to lead with Jame in this scenario. They want to see if he can find an early pick. And actually just sets off the avalanche. Smokes around as well. They're actually just going to go straight through. Nice little off angle from Flit.
They line up well for him. 3 kills coming in. It's a second coming through for Z-Power into the round as well. 12-8, 4 away here. forZe from taking map number 1 of this series. And again, it is the map pick of AVANGAR. The map they should feel more comfortable on. And well, they just haven't really looked too great on it in comparison to forZe.
No, forZe has been, quite the force already.
I mean, there's so many puns you can make with this team, right?
It's like the same with Big, right?
Yeah.
It's
force buys, force their way through. You know, there's too many of them.
Use the force. You can go all sorts of way with this one, but for right now, the only way forZe are going is to victory.
No.
Oh, okay, well.
He's done that a few times already. Like, he kind of double clicks and then third clicks. Like,
yeah.
He's too enthusiastic.
He's clicking all the buttons, but luckily for him, Kicker only having a deagle, is not going to be able to punish the mistakes of Z-Power there. And you're curious as to what AVANGAR are looking for in a round like this. They don't have any sort of utility behind this. It's just pistols. So they might just spread out to all edges of the map and see if they can just land a lucky deag. No reaction off of the flash either, so precision maintained from forZe.
This angle is so difficult to deal with. It should be at least 1 kill, but he's just going to stay in it as well. Doesn't fall away, and he can work with Almeida, who does get himself 1. Jerry able to back him up. And it's actually the Molotov that catches that one.
Yeah.
And while Sanji, alone in the world, he will join his
brethren in the skies. Yeah, again, solid play from forZe. You're starting to run out of positives, I guess, for the team. It's just really fun to see that they're so consistent with it as well. Every time we see them, it's just really, really good Counter-Strike. And, I mean, the odds reflect it as well from GG.Bet. 1.07 odds of forZe being able to sneak away this map.
Yeah, it's certainly looking pretty good for them. It feels like that's what happens with forZe, though, today. It's just kind of, well, a team can start off having pretty close odds, but by the end of the map, it's going to be a landslide.
Yeah. Oh,
Z-Par's just standing in the flames. He is aware that it does damage.
He's a believer. But at first, he was like, maybe he'll stand until it takes 2 ticks of damage. But he's like, no.
Nah,
Watch
screw it.
this.
I'm just going to stand in it. Think I can't stand in a Molotov.
That's going to be the new one. Jerry certainly seems to think he can actually stand against 2 players on the side of AVANGAR. It doesn't pan out, but Z-Power's back. Flame's gone. Basically, the green light for the Opera on the side of the CTs to move forward. All right, nice little double setup here. Flit playing close by the woodlogs. Face crack boosted up. He's going to be able to spot. He's going to be able to spot Adren eventually. Surely, right?
Oh no!
Adren's moving closer.
Oh, what? How did he still get that kill? That is unbelievable. James does trip back. It is still 2v2, but that was a little bit awkward right there. Bomb plant coming in. And well, here it goes. Z-Power and Almiz are into a 2v2 retake.
Lots of utility on the side of the T's, though. 2 smoke, well, 1 smoke, 1 Molotov, and 3 flashes. One downside is the Molotov might be negated pretty quickly, and G might not be expecting this rotation at all. No, he's definitely not going to expect this. Almiz is coming in from behind. There's the headshot. And, well, it's a 1v2. sanji with a MAC-10 has to make it happen as they start to come in towards his position. The silver line in the Z-Power is relatively low, but finding the second kill is the difficult part. He just needs to play the time. The time is ticking. There's the kill. One more player to find. It's Almiz. He's going for the stick. The time is the big factor here as sanji sprays through. No kill coming in. Knife is through, but there's the kill. Almiz walks away with a round win. And forZe, yes, they may win it, but just by the skin of their teeth. Wait, so sanji went for 3 slices. Slice, slice, slice.
I think the 3rd slice came in after the defuse was through, and he might have done like 97 damage.
But he got 3 slices off, didn't he? The first slice was on. So
the second landed
it should always be slice, slice, stab.
Unless he just kind of
unless you're like just waffing about inside the smoke, hoping for the best, right? But he should have heard the sound of him connecting with the first slice. Ooh, not sure if that would have changed anything, whereas if you said the defuse would have come through before any sort of final stab or extra slice would have made any difference. It's a rough one for AVANGAR to lose, though.
And Z-Power, you can't help but feel he's going to be able to pick up this kill eventually onto sanji and sort of the apartments.
Seems like Sanji's waiting for Adren, though.
Oh,
is he, though? He's not.
It's just a shoulder peek, and Z-Power still hits it.
He's so fast.
It's so annoying. Almiz won't be able to pick up the kill of the kicker.
We're seeing a lot of the same positions being brought out by forZe simply because AVANGAR are not able to deal with it.
They're just working, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Keep doing it over and over again until they find a way to break it.
Absolutely. Right now, only thing that seems broken is AVANGAR. 5v3. forZe with superior utility, superior manpower as well. AVANGAR just going on a bit of a fact-finding mission. Oh, Z-Power actually nails that one as well. So they have to use Adren as bait, really, for James to get the clean duel. Buster's been spotted out as well. Jerry is going to continue on. Not for long. He stopped, and Almazer luckily there to get the trade for him. So James down to his lonesome. And he is going towards the 1 bomb site with only sole defender, though, so that might do some wonders for him. Doesn't have any sort of utility here, though, so he's going to have to turn his back to spawn if he wants to clear out the entirety of the site. There you see the results of it. Flit returning back in time to help out Almazer, and map point for forZe.
Yeah, well, forZe ended up winning against Hellraisers with a scoreline of 16-8. So they've certainly shown they can close it here at this point.
It's consistency, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Beat all the teams 16-8.
And the scary thing for Big moving forward is they got beat 16-9 by AVANGAR. So,
well, they have to face Hellraisers first, right?
Yeah. They do.
And I guess new day, new dawn, all that kind of good stuff, new chances. And as you said, Big are a team that's so fresh right now with who they're playing against. Z-Power once more finding opening frags. That they're going to have day-by-day improvement, you would imagine. Because throughout their entire game, you mentioned it, it's pretty basic executes, basic strats that they want to get out there. And that makes sense considering they've got a new in-game leader and so on. So, oh, nice shot there from Buster. So you do expect to see them potentially being able to put up a bit of a better fight. Right now, forZe are just getting all the trades they want. Buster wanting to see if he can actually find a retreating Almazar. Said he gets sent to his tomb. Oh, finally something working for AVANGAR here. Oh, he's just going to go right behind him.
Surely. Oh, there we go. Sanji does pick it up. Z-Part with the pistol in his hands was not ready for that. And here we go, back
really
on.
bad
Nice
smoke.
shot from Kicker. Terrible smoke. Headshot comes in from Kicker. And Almazar's into a 1v3.
Yeah.
They've ruined it. They've ruined the consistency.
As good as it... Well, I was about to say, if you win one game 16-9, maybe you lose the next one 69. So it's AVANGAR all about having symmetry, I suppose. Almazar not looking to be long for this world. This Kicker finds him on a bit of a fact-finding mission. That's a good turnaround from AVANGAR there. Face cracked with the aggressive move and abs, not paying out for, I want to say, the first time today. Feels like he's had a lot of success with that.
I think there's a certain amount of luck one person can have. You know,
looking at the right spot, being there in the right time, right moment. Yeah, you kind of use up your luck eventually. But there is some truth to the saying that, you know, the best people make their own luck.
Exactly.
But yeah, they might be stretching it a little bit here and there. Now, another challenge at the hands of AVANGAR. They need to be flawless.
Z-Part, another sort of shot you would usually hit there. Jim doesn't land it either, thankfully. So we're back into a bit of a stalemate. Yeah. 5 players stay alive on both sides.
Z-Power now deciding to stay too long in the Molotov this time around.
Can't take the heat.
For now, though, AVANGAR is going to have the better utility pretty much all the way until, I guess, late round. It's going to be a bit of an issue for forZe unless they can find an early pick or go for a bit of a gamble rotation. Done a good job of holding on to at least a fair bit of the utility. One Molotov goes out now towards Banana. That's a good one as well. This is something we've seen Vitality do. Usually they would follow this up with some sort of aggression. It's not to be the case from forZe, though. Still have one Molotov in the hands of Face Crack, and bomb still dropped down in T-Pit, so there's no real commitment from AVANGAR here just yet. It seems like they just want to sell a B-Fake for the time being. There's no movement at all on the map on the CT side. They're pretty committed to what they're seeing right now. And that makes sense as well, because Almazar's boosted up on top of the smoke, so he's going to see anyone trying to sneak their way in.
We'll bust through it.
This is going to be a weak take, but they're actually getting what they're looking for. Z-Power's rotating over towards B slowly. Oh.
Okay.
What's the idea here? Are you going to make it up to the B bomb site with... What? All right. Well, unless they can find everyone, this is not going to be around for AVANGAR.
Yeah, this will be over as well. This will be Inferno under the bag, but there is the kill from Sanji. Flit just hiding, biding his time, no time. It is all over, and I don't know what just happened. So there we go. A way to end it indeed. 16-9. forZe, they will pick it up. 2 convincing wins on Inferno today, and well, it's not done yet. It is a best of 3. We've got another map coming up.
Yeah.
Still not looking good for the chances of a Vanguard, though.
No, especially with how they closed it out as well, right? You've got map control in both top mid, Banana as well. You're feeling good about life, and you forget the bomb. And even then, like the problem is they're so split up. They haven't found an opening towards any bomb site, and with them not having picked up the bomb, the only place you can realistically go is towards B.
Yeah.
And they decided to move up towards mid. They haven't cleared out anything at all, and I guess as expected at that stage. But yeah, not giving a whole lot of confidence for AVANGAR going to Mirage, which is forcing Epic.
They've certainly looked pretty weak, I think, with this roster. I haven't really seen that. I thought it was going to be like instant, well, okay, you brought Adrenaline in, yeah, maybe you'll have a honeymoon period or you'll have that sort of period where it takes some time to get into a groove. And it's been a while, and they still haven't really improved that much. I
feel like AVANGAR, ever since Krisen, obviously, now we have to go a little bit ways back, but ever since he was put on the bench, really, for them, they haven't looked as strong. Even if they might have had some promising results here and there, I think on average they looked better with Krisen in the lineup. It was more, I guess, synergy within the team. They actually played better together. Yeah. So it's very true what you said. We expected either the honeymoon phase to strike in once Adrian comes in, because obviously he's a great individual player. You want that kind of a player in your team if you can have him. But we haven't seen any of that, and that's a little bit worrying.
Indeed. Well, we're going to go to a short break, but once we return, we'll see if forZe can close it in 2, or will it be a comeback from AVANGAR? Join us then.